What's happening, guys? This is Bharat Nagpal and this is going to be our review of the all-new Motorola Moto X. Now technically saying all new could be completely wrong for this device because this device is about 8 to 9 months old and was first launched in the United States earlier last year. The Moto X has come to India courtesy of an online shopping website called Flipkart, and distribution and service is also handled by them. The price of the device is 23,900 rupees, and depending on what variant you buy, it goes a little higher or a little lower depending on variant and availability. Now, unlike the Moto X experience that you get in the United States, you cannot customize your Moto X and you do not have the Moto Maker tool available in India. You get 6 to 7 color options out of which you have to choose. You cannot put a signature on there and you cannot put custom accents or custom panels on the back. Now design wise, it's quite identical to the Motorola Moto G. In fact, both these devices are identical in terms of size, dimensions and overall design. The Motorola G being slightly thicker in terms of its girth. The build quality on the Moto X is just like any other Motorola device. So the Moto X is well built, sturdy, has a bezel that raises above the main glass. The back panel you're looking at is the black weave, and unless you get the wood finish, you'll mostly get a soft touch back panel. You'll also get the Motorola logo depressed in the back side of the device, which is fantastic and a great place to put your finger when you're holding the device. The device does have Gorilla Glass out in the front, so you can be rest assured that you will get some protection for the device. Now the display itself is a 4.7-inch AMOLED display. It has great outdoor visibility and excellent brightness. Viewing angles are good too, but you do see an off tint of color. You do see a bluish color, and in all likelihood these displays come from Samsung, who is notoriously known to have a blue tint in their AMOLED displays. Now running all of this is a Qualcomm MSM 8960 Pro Snapdragon chipset, which has a dual-core 1.7 GHz CPU. You also get Adreno 320 as the GPU, and on the inside you get 16 GB of storage. You also get 2 GB of RAM as standard, and if you wait a little bit, you should be able to get the 32 GB variant if it's not already available. For battery, we have a 2200 mAh unit, and for cameras, we have a 10 megapixel rear along with a 2 megapixel front camera, both of which can do 1080p video at 30 frames per second. The device takes in a single SIM card, which is going to be a nano SIM card, and the back panel is not removable. Like I said, the display is fantastic, and viewing videos or watching movies on this should be enjoyed without any problems. The speakerphone is fairly loud, but could have been louder, and the 3.5mm headphone jack gives an excellent output of audio. So if you're using headphones, you'll be quite happy with the audio that comes from the 3.5mm headphone jack. A good set of headphones is recommended for that, and you should be on your way. The Moto X can handle all sorts of video playback and should not give you any lag or stutter. At least with the 1080p videos that we tested out, it ran fairly well. Now, in terms of performance, the device is designed in a format to be a Google phone or an Android phone. So you get minimal or no customization from Motorola on the operating system. You also get Android 4.4 out of the box and a very fluid, almost a vanilla Android experience that couldn't have been better. Motorola is proud of their hands-free operation on this device. So once you train the words "OK Google Now," the device will work fairly well and should listen to all the commands that you have to see. It essentially is a hands-free way of accessing Google Now without touching the device or without tapping the microphone icon. And once you do that, you can access all the systems and services available with Google Now and nothing more than that. So it's essentially just a shortcut to reach Google Now. It will not work in all symmetry, and you can't ask it things like navigate to a concert, but you can ask it to navigate to a particular address. So it will not go search the concert for the address, but if you give it an exact address, it will navigate to that. Now, since this device is running Android 4.4 KitKat, it is a much lighter version of Android, and hence the 2 GB of RAM and the dual-core CPU work a breeze on this device. Mostly all sorts of gaming and day-to-day performance will be handled by this device without any issues, and you'll be overall quite surprised that this device is responsive and snappy in day-to-day use. But now if you're running this device for quite some time and you haven't done a reboot in quite some time, you'll start to see some lag in games. And if you have applications running in the background, even if they're on hold, you'll start to see this guy sort of slow down, sort of slow up. For that, just do a reboot and you'll be back to your smooth operations. That's thanks to the non-customized sort of vanilla Android experience that Motorola has added on this device. Now, Motorola has sort of put in a bunch of things that help you set up the phone, including a Motorola Migrate application that helps you copy all your contacts and details from other smartphones onto the Moto X. You also have some things that will help you protect your phone. So you have Motorola's backup and security systems and a bunch of other applications that Motorola has inbuilt into the device. They do not interfere with day-to-day operations and they do not slow down the device at all. So it's possibly the perfect mix of vanilla Android experience with a bunch of preloaded applications that really work to your advantage. Now the Moto X has been known to have a better camera than average, and we felt the same way. The Moto X can do continuous shooting with this camera. All you need to do is tap down on the screen and it'll continue to click pictures. You also have very little or no shutter lag with clicking the picture. Pictures are usually in focus, very crisp, and the colors are accurate. So we have no complaints with the overall picture composition. Low light pictures are also fairly good, and the LED flash does a fairly decent job of illuminating the subjects. Video is shot at full HD at 30 frames per second. It also has stereo sound capture and HDR capabilities, which is fantastic, and you should be pretty happy with the overall video experience. Now, as far as phone calls are concerned, the phone is impressive. You get great battery life and great network capabilities while you're on phone calls. The Moto X does lack LTE, but you get 3G capabilities. Audio on the incoming side and on the outgoing side is impressive, and you do have a great amount of noise cancellation that will improve the outgoing audio to the other side, so you'll have a crisp sound experience. As long as your networks are in favor, the device should hold up without any problems. You'll easily last a day with battery life on the Moto X, and you should be pretty happy with how it performs in day-to-day use. So overall, as far as phones, networks, and battery life is concerned, you'll be happy with that. We got about 6 hours of talk time on the Moto X. Now here's the thing about the Moto X. It's a beautiful product. It has the best possible way of delivering Android. It's almost like a Nexus phone. So you get instant updates. You have the latest version of Android already running on it. It's exceptionally well built thanks to Motorola's long legacy of well-built phones. It is fast and responsive. You have something which is hands-free experience, so it does have that little extra as opposed to other devices. You have a great multimedia experience, a great camera experience, and you have a fantastic battery. But what has happened is that the Moto X has come to India after a fairly long time of it being launched. And with rumors of the next generation of Moto X already in the air, the device is available for roughly 24,000 rupees without any of the features that are associated to the custom experience with the Moto X. So you cannot customize the device, you cannot put on your signatures, and you pay roughly the same price as you did in the US. And availability is also by an online portal, so you do not have any other sources of availability, and those things sort of make it a question whether or not you want to buy the device. No problems with the device itself. It's come in late, it's slightly pricey compared to other devices. Now you do have a bunch of other devices in this price bracket, including the Micromax Canvas Night. You do have the Gionee S5.5. If you put in a couple of thousand rupees more, you get the Nexus 5 with the quad-core CPU and a full HD display. The Nexus 5 is pure vanilla Android experience. It's one of the best Android experiences that you can get. So all those things sort of put a question on whether or not a person should choose the Moto X. The Moto X can be a fantastic first generation Android phone for somebody and can be a fantastic gift. If you're upgrading from a sort of dual SIM device, a cheaper dual SIM device, a budget dual SIM device, then the Moto X is a fantastic phone to get. Also, if you like one of the colors of the Moto X, it's a fantastic phone. But if you're looking for pure performance, pure adrenaline experience, you might want to spend a little more if you are considering something like a Nexus, and you might want to spend a little less and consider something like the S5.5 or many of the other phones available in this price bracket, because they should offer up a better experience in terms of specs, if nothing else. So you have a lot of options in this price bracket, and exploring will give you a lot of options. If I remember correctly, the Galaxy S4 from Samsung is also roughly available for about 28 or 29,000 rupees in the Indian market. So a bunch of options show up for the Moto X, or in that price bracket of 24 to 26,000 rupees. And if you spend a little more, you can get the Nexus, you can get the Galaxy S4, and a bunch of other devices that are available in that price bracket. So think about it, think about what your requirements are, and think about what you're actually looking for. If this device fits into all those categories, then well, you have a winner. If you have any questions or queries, you must read our full review of the Moto X on iGyan.in. You can also drop in your questions and queries in the bottom section, in the comment section below. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/iGyan, youtube.com/iGyanTV for iGyan Networks. We've heard Thank you guys for watching.